Yeah.
Great. Ta-da.
Yeah. Well,
There's Gam.
everybody, Tom Wolf is going to be here. He called me. He was coming back from a job and he was still in his car. So I said, well, I can start it up. Speaking of cars, Mike, looked like you fell out of your car.
What's that?
Yeah, when you disappeared, it looked like you fell out of your car.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, anything's possible at my age and
Yeah. What are you
mental
driving today?
acuity.
Yeah. What you driving today?
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing. These days I'm driving a 2000 Oldsmobile Bravada, but today I'm not driving anything. I'm behaving myself.
Always the first time.
For
Yeah,
a change, right? Yeah.
damn good time after 81 years that I
You
behaved.
bet.
Yeah. Well, Mike,
What's
I got
that
you.
line? If I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself.
Yeah, Paul. You and me, neither one of us would have. None of us would have, the whole bunch.
Yeah.
Well,
But I'm
Tom,
glad we're all still here today.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I did get some pictures, and I did render a couple extra things. I'm still having a little pixelation problem, but I figured I conquered it, but I didn't get everything redone. But I did get a nice clip of Brian with her eulogy. It was wonderful.
Be good. Yeah.
Show that today for sure. Might want to just wait a few minutes for more people to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she did anybody get to read her eulogy online?
Yes.
I did.
Okay.
It's a lot easier to read than it is to listen to because she spoke so quickly at the memorial.
Well, I have it on. I have it recorded. Bonnie and I could both understand it fine. Looking at it on the computer, but she was she had quite a way with words, and I downloaded a couple of the pictures that she had. See if I can put this. Of course, this was the painting she made for the invitation.
Oh,
Oh,
that's nice.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like when Joel says something to you and he does not sure you got it or not?
Mhm.
That you said?
That's a good picture. That's good.
That all the time for us.
She has an interesting way of blending the colors and everything to make it look
Oh yeah.
right.
That's a good picture. It's beautiful. A lot of talent. It's good.
Oh yeah. She's a very talented girl.
Yeah.
Now let's see. She had she put a couple pictures of herself with Joel on there too. I thought were very, very touching. And let's see.
She came by Monday, we had lunch together, and she's on her way to a writing, well, it's a gift for, oh yes, I love that. That's a beautiful photograph.
How many kids did Joel have?
I don't
Four,
know.
I think it was four, wasn't it, Emily?
I'm sorry?
I think four,
How many
right?
kids? Four.
Yeah, he had one daughter, Alex, with his first wife, Ellen, and then
That's it.
Alex and Josie with Alan, and then Max and Brian with Craig, and I think that's the whole story, isn't it?
That's the whole story.
Yeah.
I met the two boys at Clearwater one year.
That he married again, but that they didn't have children.
Yes. Whoops.
And this was
Okay. So you want to keep it?
What year was that photo, Bill? Do you know?
it doesn't say. I kind of borrowed them from Brian's newsletter. I went ahead and subscribed to it because I found her fascinating, and I even bought her book on how she draws these old crosshatch drawings for Bonnie, because I showed Bonnie that and she said, yeah, I'd like to learn how to do that. And this is I guess a duet they were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a beautiful shot too. She's on her way to this. She won it's a kind of a prize. It's a sort of camp. People who are painters, musicians, writers, and it's a selective process, and only 5% of the applicants are admitted. And what they do, they have a lodge, a central lodge. Then they have cabins out in the woods all around that are very isolated and not connected with each other. And they give everyone a picnic lunch to take to their cabin for lunch, but they're obliged to come and meet with everybody else at breakfast and at dinner. And it's a 3 thing. And they can do anything they want to while they're in these cabins. They don't have to practice. They can just do nothing if they want to, listen to them. It's a kind of a respite to give them some peace. And
That's right.
you want to know what she's doing up there? What she's going to do in her little cabin?
Yeah.
She's going to learn how to play the clarinet.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
She's fallen in love with the clarinet.
Because I don't know how old she is or anything. I just know that Joel must have had her kind of late in life, huh?
She's 28.
She was 28. Yeah. She's quite accomplished for that age.
She's just amazing. Yes, that's great.
Yeah. A chip off the old block, I guess.
Sure. Well, Chris wasn't here last week, so I'm gonna maybe try to cue up that clip of you doing filling in for Jeff Oh,
on
his.
Yeah.
It's
Our
wonderful.
Mother's Eyes, and I was gonna hold on for Brian's clip when I get Tom will be punching in soon, and usually Roger and some other people too. So let me.
It's Ira's birthday. I hope he shows up so we can sing
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah, he usually shows up about 20 minutes before the thing's over. So
Yep. At Ira Decker time.
Yeah.
okay now.
Yeah, I think Ira's in a time zone that's a half hour off.
Yeah.
What you really mean is Ira's been a half hour off for how many ever years he's been on the planet.
Yeah.
Of course, that would apply to most of us anyway.
Well, Chris, here's
Our young genius over here is Chris Fenimore, all the way from Pittsburgh, coming here to show his loyalty and his support for Joel. And the voice of an angel. Well, back in the day, it was the voice of an angel. We're going to see what the hell they have now. But,
one bright and shining light that taught me wrong from right, I found in my mother's eyes. Those baby tales she told of streets all paved with gold, I found in my mother's eyes. Just like a wandering sparrow, one lonely soul, I'll walk the straight and narrow,
sing it, Joey, sing
just
it.
to seek my goal. God's gift from up above, one pure, unselfish love I found in my mother's eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There There you have it. Wonderful.
Shout
Haven't
out,
lost
to,
a step.
shout out to the spirit of Jeff Olson.
Oh, you haven't lost a.
Sounded great, Chris.
That was fun.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jim, who was that on Helicon? Beard.
Helicon?
Yeah, it,
No,
was,
Art.
it looked
It
like
was
a
either
Helicon
Art-
off to the side rather than a Suzuki up to front.
it was either Art or Albie.
Yeah, yeah, with the big, huge beard. Is that
and that
Albie?
was it. That was Albie. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in years, but he was a lot of fun when
Oh,
we did Connecticut.
great guy, great player.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna jump over just for a short time to Mike. This is something you sent me, and I was able to pull some clips from it. We looked at Banu last week from the Disney World clip.
Oh, yeah.
That were, I guess, in the Hoop to Do review or something. The class of 27.
Mhm.
I'm just, it's a little short one, and I don't know who either one of these banjo players are, but the guys might know who they are. Let me pull this clip up a second.
I know the guy playing banjo and guitar is John Reynolds, Ralph Reynolds' brother, the washboard player.
Right.
I don't know the name of the other banjo player.
Let's see.
Brand X.
It's the old 4x3 format.
Yeah, some of that DVD wasn't very good, Bill.
Wow.
Okay. So who are those guys?
I don't know who the banjo player on the left was, but the other one's John Reynolds. His brother Ralph Reynolds on washboard behind him.
Yeah.
Here
Didn't
comes
recognize him. Couldn't recognize him. I have no idea who he is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Emily, you had looked at Banu singing last week. So some of the people in that were part of the old Mustache show band, and
Right.
they kind of became expatriates after the last club went up, burned up, I guess, and so continued to play here and there.
I know the tuba player and washboard and John Reynolds were never part of Mustache.
No.
The other guys, I'm not sure about. I got to know Ralph and John real well, and Westy through the washboard concerts and festivals. And good guys. Westy passed away about 7-8 years ago with heart problems, but what a great player and super nice guy he was, and a funny guy.
Weston Harper was a very talented guy. I worked with him once or twice, and he was just terrific. He was just terrific.
His the
One
things
time
that he and John Reynolds did with the bilabial fricatation thing, was something like farts doing Over the Rainbow and stuff like that, was just phenomenal.
One time, Mike Gentry and I, we put together a list of all the people that used to work for the Mustache that went on to Disney. It was like 30 names.
Wow.
Really? That many, huh?
Yeah.
Mustache, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I took my kids to Disney, I want to say it was probably back in the 80s or something. Mike was out there playing. We went to one of the Riverboat concerts out there, and he was out there, but without his beard. But I still recognize him.
I saw Peter out there with his tuba one time. We were late 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe 90.
Mike, Peter, Tim Shea, Ben Smith.
Oh, Tim, yeah.
Harold Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Bob
let's see.
Adams. Bob Adams did a stint out there at Disney.
Did he really? I didn't know that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there for a while.
He had a nice little band in coming out of Cincinnati when he lived there.
Yeah, the Buffalo Ridge Jazz Band was a great band.
They were very nice. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. They did that Washboard Festival with us in Logan, Ohio from 2001 for about 10 or 11 years.
Oh, wow.
They were kind of a house band for the festival.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Nice of you to think of me.
I'm sorry,
Never mind.
I didn't get that. That's all right. Way over my head.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know if I should wait for Ira or not because I can make this clip available. This was
Here comes Tom now, it looks like, maybe.
because I did.
Hey
There he
guys,
is.
Tom,
Hey,
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 Tom.
how you doing?
sorry I'm late.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay,
Yeah, we took attendance and you weren't here.
don't have to go to the corner.
So Roger, did you send any pictures or anything I need to go find?
I don't believe I did this week, no.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to, you have one picture, it's with both the Iras in it, and I'm in the front with my friend. I'm trying to figure out exactly where this was taken. I thought it been taken in New Haven somewhere because of the other people involved in the pictures that I have. But both Iras in it, so I thought he might remember.
Well, Emily, I was looking at the video from last week and it was great. Thank you for all the stuff from
There's
them.
some good stuff on there.
It was wonderful.
You know, you said both of the Iras back working at the New York club when they were co-managers, always there together. You always said their name, Big Ira and Little Ira.
Yeah,
You never just said Ira because you'd be confused.
And
Big Ira or Little Ira.
was Big Ira always late? Because I mean, you just know when he comes on, it's 22.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong spot. Here we go. Let me get back.
I have a real neat poster if I can find it. It was from the New Haven Festival out on the green. Joe had a restaurant in New Haven called the New Haven Restaurant. And Cap Galloway, is that the guy's name who did Minnie the Moocher?
yeah.
Yeah.
He played at that.
Andy,
That was back somewhere in the middle of the late 70s, I guess.
Get out of here. Cancel. Okay. Screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is another picture of Joel when he was with the Galvanized Jazz Band.
Yeah.
2 harmonicas? Really? Wow.
What was that all harmonica band that was popular back early 60s?
Harmonica.
Harmonica.
Cats.
Yeah,
And then there was a harmonica Rascals too, but they weren't as good.
they had one little guy had a huge harmonica too. It was,
Oh yeah, that was part of the act, part of the shtick. Yeah.
All they're missing there is a washboard and an accordion.
Yeah. And a bagpipe.
Yeah.
bagpipes. That would set it off. Be some nice mood music for going to sleep. Okay, well, looks like we got a good amount of people here. I'm gonna put up a clip that Bonnie and I watched. It was Brian, Joel's daughter's eulogy, and I thought it was outstanding. It's a little bit long, but I think you could. I think y'all said you couldn't hear it too well when you were there, but Bonnie and I thought it was clear. You know, so she's a very talented young lady, and I thought that her words, were just very moving to me, and the way she described growing up under Joel's tutelage was kind of like what I hear y'all talking about when he turned y'all loose to take care of, learn to play the banjo, run a club. I think he raised her like that, and it shows. Find the clip here. Let's see.
Joel's youngest daughter, Brian, is, like her father, a free spirit and incredibly talented, a writer, and as you can see for yourself from the portrait of her father on this invitation, a fine painter, and an amateur banjo player living in London, known professionally as August Lamb. She is the author of an art book and a forthcoming novel, and I am feeling incredibly inadequate introducing Brian Schiavone.
Hi. I wrote a fairly elaborate eulogy and then was told this morning it was supposed to be a brief speech, but I don't get many opportunities to talk about my dad to a bunch of people who knew him because my friends are under the age of 80. So I'm just gonna read this and you're gonna sit through all of it. Okay. I've imagined giving this eulogy hundreds of times. Over the past decade, I've devoted 1 in 3 plane rides and 1 in 5 showers to the mental writing of this speech. The challenge I knew would be to capture the slippery, double-edged memory of a parent at once larger than life and too small to see. I've imagined the eulogy so often that it has sometimes folded in on itself, so that I imagine telling you all. I've imagined giving this eulogy so many times that I've even imagined telling you all I've imagined it. And so on, until the water in the shower went cold. Sometimes I would come up with a line so perfect, I almost wish for the chance to use it, but I never wrote anything down. To write it down would have been to accept that this moment would actually come, that one day I would face the bare logistics of death, the compressing of a whole person into paper, music, stone, words. I wasn't ready to write it because I wasn't ready to need to. I lived in terror of my father's death, constantly on high alert. An unheard voicemail was to me as good as a death notice. I couldn't open my email without bracing myself for bad news. Even now, in the aftermath of his death, I still sometimes see a missed call and think, oh no, did he die? The feeling that follows is somewhere between relief and despair. My father was 6 decades older than me. We had less than 3 decades together, making me one of the people here who knew him least, but only by one metric. In every child's life, there's the space for a parent, regardless of whether this space is filled with love or its opposites. At times in my life, it was convenient for me to believe that the space was empty, that I was as good as fatherless. This was convenient for 2 reasons. First, it spared me the complication of looking into that space and reckoning with what was or was not there. And second, because an absence was easier to explain than a complicated presence. I wasn't raised by my father, I would tell people. I didn't live with him. This was true, and yet it falsely equated proximity with influence. I knew full well that a personality like my father's could transcend simple geography, that he was always with me despite rarely being there. On the day he died, I stood uncomfortably across the room from his body, feeling no urge to approach, to touch him while I still could. He was not in there. If I wanted to find him, I would have to look where I'd always found him before, within myself. My father was a born performer. He loved attention, but unlike most attention seekers, he actually earned it. He was a dedicated and generous performer. He would captivate an audience, and the audience would stay captivated for years, decades, a lifetime. It wasn't just his charisma, it was practice and preparation. It was costumes and venues and programs and signs. It was mailing lists. It was stacks of songbooks, spiral bound, containing every song written before the year 1950, after which, to my father's mind, no significant further developments in music were made. There were printed set lists with annotations written in his trademark illegible script. those jagged ranges of misshapen capitals that rendered checks worthless and mail undeliverable. There were late nights shut up in his study, just him and the banjo, rehearsing the set over and over until each song led seamlessly into the next. He worked hard to entertain, and it is a testament to this work that even in his later years, when the songs were tired, the lyrics inaudible, the chords half forgotten, the venue a Mexican restaurant in the suburbs, even then the audience showed up and went home feeling as if they'd witnessed something remarkable. Had my father gotten his way, the funeral would have been held long before he died. He would have been here to witness it, or more likely to run the show. And while I like to think we've done an all right job organizing it, we all know it would have been better if he'd been in charge. In addition to the music and the speeches, there would have been surprises, stunts and gags, semi-nudity. If my father were standing up here right now, he would certainly not be reading from a sheet of paper. He would be looking out at the audience, making each and every one of you feel like the only person in the room. That was his gift. He would be trying to suppress a smile at the thought of whatever was up his sleeve, whatever was coming next, knowing how delighted you'd all be once you figured it out. I've lived abroad for most of my adult life. I visited home twice a year. As my father got sicker, he wanted more of me than I could give, but he knew he didn't have the right to ask. After all, where had he been when I'd been sick? When had he ever sat at my bedside? I tried to foster a resentment, to lean into this bitterness, but I didn't really feel it. Hating my father for failing to parent me would have been like hating a cow for failing to lay eggs. Parenting was never his calling. When I say parenting, I mean it in the literal sense, the changing of diapers, the packing of lunches, the scheduling of doctor's appointments. In my father's case, the definition is too narrow, because I do feel shaped by him, nurtured indirectly from a distance, theoretically, the way you can be shaped by a book, an idea, a foreign culture. You don't need to live alongside these things to appreciate them. You just need to know that they exist. My father believed I could do anything. When I wanted to start a business, he gave me a copy of the Harvard Business Review and How to Win Friends and Influence People. It didn't matter that I was 12. When I wanted to learn German, he sent me to Germany. It didn't matter that I was 14 and needed a flight attendant to chaperone me through the airport. When I wanted to become an artist, rendering my expensive academic degree all but worthless, he said, "Why the hell not?" When I wanted to move to London for no justifiable reason, he said I was doing exactly the right thing. When I wanted to write a book, he said, "When's it coming out? When can I read it?" But his belief in me did not stem from the fact that I was his daughter. Any objective brilliance I may have possessed was irrelevant. My father believed in everyone. To his mind, the average person was living within false mental boundaries that could, with the right combination of confidence and determination, be cast off in favor of a more fulfilling, if unorthodox, existence. Of course, this was easy to say if you went to Yale and Harvard and received a multi-million-dollar inheritance. But none of that applies to me. I inherited no money. My only inheritance was the feeling that I could have everything. Like my father, I get a lot of crazy ideas, and like him, I pursue most of them. Often they lead to disaster. I move from country to country, project to project, leaving half-formed thoughts in my wake. Like my father, when I win or lose, I do it on a large scale. The stakes are high, but what a fun life, what a mess of a life. My father was a disaster. He loved the wrong people too much and the right people too little. He preferred the idea of things to the details. He was a stubborn optimist with no patience for doubts. He pushed relentlessly forward, never casting a backward glance. He wanted more, but at whose expense? When things fall apart in my own life, when I find myself broke or broken, I sometimes wonder whether it's time to quit the adventure, to pack it up and go home and embark on a more modest life, one with lower stakes, one that makes sense on paper, one easily explainable to strangers at parties. I want to be a person who can answer simple questions like, where do you live? What's your job? But then again, aren't there enough people like that? Thank God for those people, the ones who build and maintain the theater of life, so people like my dad can get up there and put on a show and eventually burn the whole place down for the insurance money. Thank God for the responsible parents, the reliable partners, the sound investors, the diligent workers, the people who show up day in and day out, who just want a simple, normal life, or who have no other choice. These are the people who keep the world turning. Where would we be without them? and equally thank God for the occasional break in the chain, the spark of mischief in the ranks, the rare person who won't fit neatly into one category or another, musician or politician, husband or bachelor, philanthropist or con man, father or that guy I had dinner with once a month at Bertucci's. My father taught me that you can be any number of things, that you can even fail at most of them, and it will still count for something. It will still be a life. It will be more than a life. It will be a phenomenon. This was what I needed in a father. I needed to grow up in the orbit of someone who lived by his own rules. I was such a weird kid, out of place at school and at birthday parties. I never would have survived the workforce. If I was going to survive, I needed an alternative course. I needed that far more than I needed homework help or a ride to soccer practice, more even than I needed love and care. I may be emotionally damaged as a result, but that pain is nothing compared to what I would have suffered if forced to live a regular life. In the months since my father's death, I have stopped imagining this eulogy. I put off writing it until the day before the funeral. I realize now that my shower brainstorming sessions were an attempt to prepare for grief. Of course, there's no preparation. This was always going to hurt, and there's only so much that writing can do to help. In a sense, it's strange how much I miss him, how much I feel his absence, when 2 months is nowhere near the longest I've gone without seeing him. But the problem isn't that I'll never see him again. The problem is that he'll never see us again. Will we ever appear as fascinating, as full of potential, as we did through his eyes? Thank you.
Stop share. There we go. Oh, got it.
That
Okay.
was fascinating.
Yeah.
No, she's amazing.
That was interesting.
That was a great speech.
Mhm. Yeah, Bonnie sat down with me and she was crying when she was, and we don't even know her, but we knew Joel, but it was, but I looked up her, I signed up for her newsletter, and like I said, I looked up her artwork and stuff. She's quite, versatile. I guess you call it like, what was it? The old term they had back in history, the Renaissance man or the Renaissance woman. They do a lot of different things well. Anyway, but Emily said she had lunch with her yesterday. You had lunch with Brian this week, Emily?
Monday, that's when she told me about this the program for coming up artists
Okay.
that she qualified for, and that's where she is now in a log cabin in the woods in Maine or in Massachusetts.
Wow. Okay. It's the
Happy
birthday boy.
old man.
Happy
Ira.
birthday, Big Ira.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks,
happy
guys.
birthday.
Yeah,
Hey,
3/4 of a century.
Ira, you're 5 minutes early.
I'm getting up there.
Yeah.
Is
Sign
that
off
the
and come
cabin
back in
she's
5
in
minutes.
behind Mike?
What's that?
Is that the cabin that Brian's in right now behind Mike?
Oh,
Just
yeah,
kidding.
right.
Just kidding.
well, that where I'm at in the picture right now is up at our cabin in the mountains at 10,000 feet.
Wow.
Is it any cooler up there?
I don't know. I haven't been up there for a year or so. It's difficult for me to go up to that altitude with
It
the
looks
COPD and stuff. So I haven't been up there for a year or so.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah, we showed a few clips, Ira, from the
Yeah.
reunion. I mean, Joel's memorial, and I'm going to send anybody that wants to. I can send them a link, and you could obtain the all the clips from the.
That would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like that, Bill.
I haven't put it all together. Like Emily's and I are going to work on making one long, have the whole thing just run in order. But for right now, I just have busted it up into little bite-sized clips so we can show on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we just showed his daughter's eulogy, which was outstanding. So I think I recommend you take a look at that. I'd play it again, but it would take us till the end of the meeting to finish looking at it again. It's about 10 minutes long. So yeah. Okay. Tom, do you have anything new or different?
No.
Okay. All right. Just
I'm
ask.
sorry,
Don't want to monopolize everything here. So okay.
So a few years ago, Joel and Brian came to visit me at Arno's restaurant. I was playing there some dinner jazz with the trio, and they said for the whole evening, she had a ukulele and wanted pointers on busking on Royal Street. That's what she did. She went and played street music on Royal Street, and they stayed the whole evening. I remember it's a place where you go to tables and play requests. Ended up at their table, and her request, I'll remember it. Her request was a request we don't get often, but we did know it. She requested the song Body and Soul.
Oh, yeah.
And after hearing the eulogy just now, I could see why she would like that song.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
I hope you played it in D flat.
We did do it in D flat.
Yeah.
That's where the trumpet player played it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the damn thing is written there, and it's just such a bitch to play.
And when I saw that the first chord was a D sharp minor, I went, oh Lord, here we go.
No, she actually, if you Google her name and her site, she does artwork. You know, she does oil paintings, lots of crosshatch sketches, which was a technique back in the 1600s or something like that. And she also has some records out, not records, albums. You know, digital video, audio files with video you could look at. She's real interesting. You know, and I decided I'm following her now on her Facebook page, and also the what's the other one? I just started signing up for it.
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, she has Instagram also. So yeah.
She was very pleased to hear that you all were taken with her eulogy, and that you were interested in her.
I love her sense of humor. Very wry.
Yeah.
Here's a picture that
Oh, there they are.
I got inspired by Brian, and that just seems like Joel and Gleason.
The two great ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you move that picture down to their feet?
Yep.
Yep, that's the one.
Jackie's got his shiny shoes on, but Joel doesn't.
Great shot.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I was really looking for Joel's Christmas shots, but I'm having trouble finding them. Billy knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I don't have those. But I used it on the montage.
Yeah.
By the globe you're talking about.
Oh, I got that picture.
Yeah.
Because Brian was talking about nudity.
Yes.
Joel was pretty good at it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that weren't here at the early part of the meeting, but here's Joel and Brian performing together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they were or what they were playing, but yeah.
I mean, one thing is Joel was pretty potent at 60. He had a daughter.
Yeah. Anyway, well, this is something. Well, Mike had sent in that video from the class of 1927, and here's another number that Banu did. Let me pull it up here. The first part of it's just kind of a still frame because the camera must have been moving around or something, but it's pretty good number.
Who wants to go to the movies now as Fred Astaire? How about you? Huh? No? Well, how about you? Hey, Will.
I'm stepping out with my baby, can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in
Okay,
That's great. Where was that?
that was in Disney World.
That was 1972.
It looks like the place they used to do the Hoop-de-Doo review, because I want to take my kids there. We'd usually go to it. You can eat food and watch shows. Yeah,
Hey, Bill, if you ever, or Barry, or Bill, rather, you've got the DVD. If you ever have a chance to contact Manu, she could probably tell you who that other banjo player and who the other chick singer is.
okay.
But I know the names of the rest of the guys. So that thing about please hold on a minute, camera repo is annoying. But they only had one camera and they were repositioning the camera a bunch. I have no idea where that DVD came from or how long I've had it, but interesting stuff on there anyway.
Yeah, well, the sound is good. I probably would have shot it differently, but it's better. Because back at shooting something in 1972, everything was kind of new. He probably had a giant battery attached to it and everything else. Yeah.
And there's one thing in there where the second girl singer's out in the audience with some guy and doing something you can't hear them talking at all or her singing. So if you want to edit that stuff out, do whatever you can with it.
Yeah, well, I'd have to. I didn't want to cut any of the audio out, but if I could find some inserts of mustache pictures or something, I could do that.
Whatever you want to do with it is fine.
Yeah.
Once you get it done, I'd like a copy of it on a DVD if you can. I'm donating a lot of washboard stuff to a music museum here in Denver.
Yeah.
Here's Barry with the new.
That photo right there, that's at the Red Garter in Wildwood. And what happened was Banu was playing in Washington and had a weekend off, so she came to visit us up in Wildwood. And we got her up on a bandstand to do a show, a 20-minute act. And she tore the house down. I mean, it was 700 people in there, and they all were screaming. And I got in trouble because the regular female vocalist got her feelings hurt. She was all pissed and went to the boss man and all this shit, you know. So I got in trouble, and I was just trying to have fun.
How dare you?
And unfortunately, egos get too frequently in the way, do they not?
Yeah, that's what happened that night.
Yep.
Joel would have given you a raise.
Yeah, probably.
By the way, Emily, it's nice to meet you here on the Zoom thing tonight. We've never met in the past. Joel and Roger and a bunch of these weirdos go back 50 years or so. So I wanted to say it's very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
It is very nice. Yeah.
It's very nice to be here. I have a photo that I'd like to run quickly and see if I can find it that you might help me identify.
Okay.
Cool.
Sure. Just hold it up to the camera. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to find other pictures, but I found one that hold on.
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
would you send me a picture of that invitation that was done for Joel's memorial, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll post it as a still on the on my Google Drive too. People could download.
Okay.
But I'll send it to you.
Hey, Barry, is that the Red Garter?
That is.
Yeah, I see Tom's drums in the back.
I mean, is there ever a picture of Joe Terra that's not good?
Oh, Emily has the picture there. Let me see what we got.
It's in a frame and it has a photo of this man up in the corner. Can you see that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And a child, and then it has, you know, the 25th reunion.
Put it up closer again, Emily.
Yeah, put
Is
it-
that
yeah.
Jeff? Is that Jeff
That looks like
Olswang?
Ira Decker with dark hair.
That looks like Jeff Olswang a little.
No,
No, it looks
No?
more like you, Ira.
No, that's not me.
It does look like Ira. Yeah.
I would think it was a waiter because it's got a blue vest.
Yeah.
could be,
Okay.
could be, could be.
I thought it
Could
was
be.
Olswang. for a
And
minute.
then here's this regular, you know this picture, this is a regular picture that we.
Yeah,
you've got
right.
photos of that.
Right, yeah, we've seen
Right.
that one a lot, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great picture. And then there was a response card about, yes, I'm coming to the reunion or whatever. But that person is, I don't know what to do with this because they might want it.
I don't know.
We can put out an APB.
All I said,
Have you seen this?
send
now?
it. I could send it to Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, Roger's usually the one that knows most people at most of the clubs. Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah, but you know what? You can send that out to the email blast that you use. Somebody will know it.
Yeah, maybe, oh, yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, there's-
I'll take a photo
That's
of it.
Hoyt
Here's still a
Corey, right?
picture of Banu
That's Hoyt on the left, I think.
and Christine. Is
and
that
Buzz-
Bob Adams.
and Buzzy's all the way on the left, isn't he?
No, that's Hoyt.
That's
That's
Hoyt Corey.
Oh, okay.
Really? Looks like Buzzy.
I thought it looked like Buzzy.
That's Hoyt Corey, no doubt about it.
Okay.
That's the show band immediately before I got with the show band,
And
right?
there's the banjo case. It says the mustache.
Yeah, I don't know where that was taken. I don't recognize the white tables.
When I was with the show band, one of my jobs was always folding and hanging up that banner.
Oh, really?
Banner, that was my job, yeah.
I have that banner.
Do you?
I don't know what to do with it. I think I'll send it to the museum.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of a mustache museum?
There's a banjo museum and then
Oh, okay.
it
Yeah,
has that-
Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
been there, Mike.
yeah. A couple of times it was there for the mustache thing. So I wasn't sure what Emily was talking about, which museum.
You mean there's two?
Well, there's one in Oklahoma, right?
That's the one.
Oklahoma City, the American Banjo Museum.
Yeah.
Fantastic place.
There's a little clip I want to play. It's a short song. I think it was maybe towards the end of the memorial. Emily said she really liked it, by Jeff Barnhart. One Day
yeah.
Done. It's kind of like, he said it was one of Joel's favorite songs. Let me pull that up here.
We're getting down to those precious few, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there. You got to hear Jeff Barnhart singing one chorus of this tune that Joel absolutely loved.
And that he taught me.
There you go.
That's the only reason I know this tune is because of Joel.
There you go. You got it, Jeff.
We lost another galvanized jazz band member last year, Noel Koletsky, and Joel sang it at Noel's celebration service. So it's very, very special. The whole thing is there's a lot of galvanized jazz band members up here still, and I don't plan on singing this for another 40 years. So eat your Wheaties and stay healthy. All right. May I have a little introduction, please? And if you know the words, please join in. When day is done and shadows fall, I think of you. Oh, when day is done, I dream of all the joys we knew, that yearning returning to hold you in my arms. Won't go, love, you know, love, without you life has lost its charms. Oh, when day is done and grass is wet with twilight's dew, my lonely heart goes sinking with the sun. Although I miss your tender kiss the whole day through, I miss you most of all when day is done.
Thank you, Jeff.
That was nice.
Yeah, very nice.
That was terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been a very moving service, and probably brought a lot of tears to the eyes. You know.
Mhm.
Say,
I think the only time I've ever played that song is with the Galvanized and with Noel.
and this is another piece that was. Let me see. Well, this is a pretty big long file. Let's say. These are kind of like the thanks and one of the ending songs.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've known Chuck Mascola since his christening, as I mentioned before. His dad got me into the Annex Little League in 1953. They're among the most caring and loving people I've ever known, and on behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank Chuck for letting us celebrate Joe's life in this magnificent facility. How about a big hand for Chuck and his wife, Marcella? Joel was like a second big brother to me, and I will miss him terribly. I'll miss his wisdom, his advice. I wish I had listened to him when he told me to sell MCI. His incredible sense of humor, his passion for making the world a better place, a happier place, his love of country, his love of life, most of all, his loving friendship for 60 years. He was buried at Grove Street Cemetery on May 2nd. We all sang "You Are My Sunshine," a tune Emily and Joel often sang to each other. Let's do it just one more time.
Can you hold on 1 second?
Sure.
Just before you do that, just a couple of quick last things, and then we're going to sing "You Are My Sunshine." Thank you for thanking Marcella and I. We also have to thank Sal and Ali Marizzoli, our partners in this project. So, and there's a person that has been mentioned but not recognized today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here because of the efforts of a single person and someone that really sent Joel off with a smile on his face, and I'd like us all to join in thanking Emily McDermott for her contribution. Brian said, "What a fun life." On behalf of my parents, on behalf of all of us, on behalf of Matthew, Joel, thanks for taking us along for a very fun life. Fred, take us away.
Charlie, can you do the intro for "You Are My Sunshine"? Yeah, we'll catch that
Everybody gonna sing together, yeah? Here we go.
Everybody.
You You are my sun, my only sunshine. You make me happy. You make me happy. When skies are, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take the other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. I dreamt I held you. When I awoke, dear, when I was mistaken. It was my wife. So I hung my head and I cried. Let's go back to the chorus. You are my sunshine. Let's hear it. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take. I'll always love you. I'll always love and make you happy. If you will always say the same, you will always say the. But if you leave me to love another, you'll regret it all someday. You'll regret it all. All right, y'all know the chorus. Let's do one more. You are my. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Yeah, everybody. That's it, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, that was the wrap.
Good.
Emily, I'm just curious, who was the tall blonde that was dancing with Brian?
That's Casey with Linda Figueredo with the
Okay.
umbrellas.
Yeah, well, was she? I didn't know if she was a relative or not. Oh,
She's let me see. She's on Fred's side of the family. I think that's his sister-in-law.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like they were having a good time. There's one song towards the end with it.
Do people here know, Gim, about the house parties, the Jeff and Joel house parties? Jeff Barnhart and Joel were dear friends for long years, and they started about, I don't know what, 20 years ago or so, maybe 16, having a private party they called Jeff and Joel's house party.
Yeah.
Generally at Joel's house, and whichever one it was, and they would invite people to come and they would play music and sing, and just was the most wonderful time. I got in on the last one, when the French, what is the band, the French band?
Paris
But
Washboard.
Paris
Yes.
Washboard, yeah.
all came, and it was just so much fun and wonderful. But they had to stop that for some reason. I don't remember how. But they were very close, and those were fun events.
Well, since we're doing a memorial of Joel, we got to see a picture of Steve Yoakum.
Oh, that's Yoke.
Yeah.
There he is.
Who's on the
That's Yoke.
tuba? Who's that on the tuba?
Hank Grieve.
No, don't know him.
He showed up after the mustache closed.
But Steve came on the Zooms a couple times.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to be fine, and then he died.
Yeah,
But it was good to see him when we saw him. And
that's the Red Garter, right, Barry?
Yes.
Hmm.
That's
We had a
terrible.
great band that started in 1988 with called the Uncle Yoke's Black Dog Jazz Band. That was excellent lasted about 5 or 6 or 7 years. It was a hell of a band.
Well, I got to sign off, guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
Take care, Chris. Good to see you,
see
man.
you.
Hey, Chris, I
next
saw
week.
you with Daniel Mancini, that picture.
Yeah. Dan's a good friend. He grew up in my neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yep.
And you're still friends. That's good.
I know. Amazing.
Wow.
All right. Be well, everybody. See you next week.
Okay.
Take
Take
care,
care,
Chris.
Chris.
Be
Happy
well.
birthday, Big Ira.
What's that?
Happy birthday.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Happy birthday.
I like
old are
I gotta go. I'm gonna
I
see
like
you later.
birthdays.
Good
We
to
Okay.
see
should
you
all
all.
have
Nice
many
to meet you,
more.
Emily.
Bye,
Okay,
Emily.
guys.
All right.
Nice to
Bye,
meet you,
guys.
Emily.
See you next week.
Oh, thank you
We're
so
on for
much.
next Thursday, right?
Have a good week.
Yeah.
And
See you
next
next week.
Thursday.
And we'll work on some more clips, and I figured out how to render it where it doesn't have the pixelation, so I'll have everything fixed by then.
I'd like to get some more people on this call. These
Yeah.
calls.
We'll see you on next Thursday.
The lady who gave the
Hey,
talk
Barry, tell Dottie howdy.
I will.
was Joe's daughter.
Brian.
Okay, guys.
Okay. See you guys
Thank you
later.
for coming, and we'll see y'all next Thursday.
Hey,
Okay.
Emily,
Yeah.
Emily,
Yes.
Fred, I seen Fred in all those pictures. Reminds me, I asked to ask you, how's he doing?
I don't know. I'm going to their house for breakfast tomorrow, but he's been in and out of the hospital.
I knew
And-
that's why I was asking.
I haven't had the results of the latest measurement of how far his cancer has progressed, but I don't know. I can't imagine how he got through that service because he was really, really sick that day.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Yeah, you never know.
The
So
lady who
I'll
gave
let
the-
you know. I'll let you know next week.
Would you shoot me a note on that? That's because I'm
Oh,
scheduled. I was going to have dinner with them, but they've canceled. So I figured something had turned wrong.
No, they're home and they're not letting people come, he does not want visitors. It's really hard because they want to, people want to talk and you don't want to when you're sick, you feel just awful.
Sure.
And then feel like you have to entertain them and so forth. So Linda's put a ban on visits, but I get to sneak in under the wire tomorrow morning. So I'll
Emily?
let you know. Oh,
Emily, I have a
I'll-
question for you. The
Sure.
lady who talked, that was Joe's daughter, right?
yes, that talk that you just heard.
Yeah. Who was her mother?
Her mother was Craig Sleeper Schiavone. Craig was Joel's second wife.
Right.
And she worked for the city of New Haven. Actually, she and I were office mates. Our little cubicles were right next to each other in the downtown development place. And she was working on the downtown development. That's how she and Joel got together. And I was working on harbor development. And I think I mentioned this last time, Joel would come to see her and to court her. And then if she wasn't there, he'd come talk to me. So, we had a
Joel.
friendship over a long period of time over.
Okay, thanks for the information.
Yeah, well, no, it was, we were just strictly friends, there was no romantic things then until 8 years ago. Then it was something else and it was.
All right, guys.
So, anyway, I'll let you know about
I
Fred.
appreciate that. I appreciate that
Bill,
because I don't want to bug him.
Did you
no, I'll let you know.
at the memorial service?
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, will there be?
Kim was there. I didn't know if he shot some pictures or anything there,
Oh,
I just took some, with their iPhones or whatever. I know they were busy playing the whole time, so I guess not. So
yeah, I know, I don't know, but his son, Mark from, who lives in Vermont, has been coming down every single time he's played to back him up, just
Right.
in case, because he's getting weaker and weaker. And then I don't know if the mustache people knew about Matthew, his son, who has Down syndrome, who is kind of wandering around in the photographs, in the video. Maybe we should explain that. That's Fred and Linda's youngest son. And he's just been really dear and always part of the GJB. And he always at the end, they have a thing where he comes up when they play the Saints. And he stands with his arm around his father when the Saints are played at the end. And he's a dear, sweet person. So
They have a nice rendition of that on this video too. I'll pull it up next week. You know, they play, they start with God Bless America and end up with the Saints, you know.
yes, right. I don't know, did Matthew dance to that? He was very restrained this time. I think his parents had said, look.
I saw him
See you
dancing.
guys next week. I have to go now.
That's right.
See ya. Be well.
See y'all next Thursday. Okay.
Terrific.
Be well. See you later, Emily.
Bye.